Aladdin Story Part 3. Magician's Reunion with his family, Aladdin's family. Aladdin showed the African magician his house and took the 2 pieces of gold and went to his mother. His mother told about all these things to her parents-in-law. They said to their daughter-in-law, "Take these and buy some good things." And so Aladdin's mother went out and bought things. And thinking that she would need various utensils, she borrowed them from her neighbors and she spent the whole day preparing dinner, and in the evening when the dinner was ready, she said to her son, "Aladdin, perhaps the foreigner will not find our house, therefore it will be good that you go and fetch him." Just as Aladdin was ready to leave, the magician knocked at the door and came in carrying all kinds of fruits, which he had brought in exchange for sweets. After giving what he had brought into Aladdin's hands, he saluted Aladdin's mother and his own parents and asked them to show him the place where his brother Mustafa used to sit on the couch. And when they showed him the spot, the magician sat down near the couch at that place and kissed the spot several times and cried, saying with tears in his eyes, "My poor brother! How sorry I am that I could not come sooner to embrace you for the last time." Aladdin's grandparents asked him to sit down in the same place, but the magician refused. "No," he said, "I will not, but allow me to sit in front of it, so that, though I may not see the master of my so dear family, I may at least see the place he used to sit in." When the magician had chosen the place and sat down, he began to talk to his parents and Aladdin's mother. First he asked their forgiveness for not being able to come for so many years. Then he turned to Aladdin's mother and told her, "My good sister," he said, "do not be surprised that you have never seen me all these years. You are happily married to my brother Mustafa. I have been absent from this country, which is my native place, for 40 years. I am also sorry not to have seen my late brother. After leaving here, I traveled through the Indies, Persia, Arabia, Syria and Egypt, and then crossed to Africa, where I took up my abode. As is natural to everyone, I too was anxious to see my native country again and to embrace my dear parents, my dear brother and his family. And when I had strength to make so long a journey, I made the necessary preparations and set out to visit my brother and parents. I now know of my brother's death. You all pray God for the repose of his soul and for his further advancement. It is a consolation to me that my brother has also got a son who has the most remarkable characteristics." When the magician found that his widowed sister-in-law was crying for her husband, his mother for her young son and his father's eyes were moist, he changed the topic and turned to Aladdin and asked him, "What business do you do? Do you do any business?" At this question Aladdin hung his head down, and when his mother answered, "Aladdin is a good-for-nothing man. He is but a little under 18 years of age. His father, when alive, 3 years ago, did all he could to teach him his trade, but could not succeed, and since his death, I and his grandparents have said all we could to him, but he does nothing but waste his time in the streets, as you have seen him do. We know he is no longer a child, and he is not ashamed of his deeds. Therefore, though his grandparents may not agree, I have made up my mind. I am going to give him a month's time. If he still refuses and continues to loiter like this, I am resolved to turn him out of this door, and let him maintain himself." At these words Aladdin's mother burst into tears, and the magician said, "That is not right, nephew. You should think of helping yourself and earning your own livelihood. There are many kinds of professions. Perhaps you do not like your father's profession, so you may like another profession. It is not necessary that you choose the same field in which your father was proficient, or you should be proficient in it or be able to become proficient in it. My father used to work as a tailor. If that accident had not happened, I would have been here too, and my father would have taught me tailoring before your father. But that could not happen. Just then Aladdin's grandmother asked, "What kind of accident, son?" "Magician, I don't remember anything about it. When I regained consciousness, I was buried under a pile of mud. Maybe there was a sandstorm and I got buried under it. I tried to remove the sand from me, but you know the nature of sand. It comes back to the same place again. But a good man who was passing by at that time saw some movement under the sand and took me out from there, and I..." Hearing this, Aladdin's grandparents' eyes became watery and they started thanking Allah, God, and they held the magician tightly and started crying. Aladdin's mother gave water to everyone. When everyone sat down quietly, she asked the magician, then brother-in-law, "Why didn't you come home from there?" "Magician, that's it. Whatever is written in fate happens. I remember someone pulling me out of the sand and then loading me onto a camel. Then I fainted again. When I woke up again, I found myself under a tent. When I started regaining my consciousness back and started to become capable of thinking, understanding and speaking, I was rescued, and they said that I must have come to this earth to do some good work. That is why God sent those people to save me, and I was saved. When I asked for permission to go home, they said that do I know the way to my house? They said that even they will not be able to find it, and they will have a lot of trouble. It is possible that they may get lost in the desert while searching for my village and house. They said that now they are on the edge of the country and we will reach another country tomorrow. And accidents happen with other people like my parents in the desert. Similarly, I too must have lost my life by getting trapped in a sand vortex. Knowing and believing this, my parents will start living their life ahead. And if we go there now, who knows, we may lose our life by getting trapped in some other sandstorm. That is why it is good for everyone to leave from here and move forward to another country." Saying this, they moved forward. They kept me well with them. He gave me a lot of love and respect and also took good care of me. I traveled to many countries with him. He chose Africa to live in and we settled there. He wanted to get me married, but I could not think of anything other than business, and I was always afraid that I would forget my business practices by getting entangled in household affairs, so I did not get married. Last year, after that good man passed away, I realized that I had collected so much money that I could travel to many countries easily, so I thought of coming here and reuniting with my family. I remembered the name of my village, looking at father, your name, my mother's name and my brother's name. So I came. And I thought that perhaps Mustafa also works as a tailor. So I tried to find him in that way and got to know the bad news about him. Having said this, he came back to the main point and said to Aladdin, "If you are having trouble with sewing, then you can choose some other profession. I will try my best to help. If you do not want to learn sewing properly, then I will get you a shop and will equip it with all kinds of fine goods and linen, and then you can give some of the money you earn from them at home and keep buying new goods with the rest of the money. This is also a respectable way to live life. Not like you live. You tell me openly, what do you think about my proposal?" Aladdin liked everything his uncle suggested. Magician's plan suited him very well, for Aladdin had grown to hate work because of bad company. He told the magician that he was more inclined to the business of trade than to any other, and he was very grateful to him for his kindness. Aladdin thought that there was nothing special in trade, and he would get to visit new places and make friends with new people, which will be fun for him, and thus while visiting new palaces and making new friends he would make money, too. He found this idea fantastic. "Well, then," said the African magician, "I will take you with me tomorrow, dress you in fine clothes like the best merchants in town, and then we will open a shop, as I told you." Aladdin's grandmother looked very happy, but she still had some doubts. His grandfather was surprised at the magician's words, but was still happy. After his promise of kindness to her son, Aladdin's mother was now convinced that the magician was her husband's brother. Why else would a man come and help so many people without any introduction? Such people are rare. She thanked the magician for his good intentions, and after much persuasion to Aladdin to make him worthy of his uncle's kindness, dinner was served, at which they discussed many different matters, and then the magician took leave and went away. The magician came again the next day, as he had promised, and took Aladdin with him to a merchant. The merchant showed him all kinds of clothes and fine goods, designed for different ages and classes, and asked Aladdin to choose whatever he liked. Aladdin chose some clothes and suitable accessories, and then magician paid for them. The next part of the story will be uploaded tomorrow itself. We have made some good changes in this public domain story. We hope you will like them. Thank you very much to all of you for subscribing to our channel Wise Tales English and liking our videos and giving us your feedback through comments, etc. A big thank you to all those people who like our videos and share the link of the videos through other social media platforms and spread the story to other people in a proper and legal manner. Our team of Wise Tales English is very grateful to you. May you all be happy, healthy, successful in all good works, and may your happiness and prosperity increase. Best wishes to you from our entire team of Wise Tales English. See you again tomorrow with a new video on this channel. Until then, take care of yourself and everyone around you.